Good day to all of you, especially to our professor. I am Mark Flores Intig, and alongside are my co-members, Mr. Raymar Asombrado and Ms. Ria May Kiban. And we are the group 4. Today, we are assigned to discuss one of the methodological approaches, which is multimodal discourse analysis. To begin with, let's define first what is multimodal discourse analysis or MDA. Multimodal discourse analysis is a method or approach within discourse analysis that looks at how meaning is created and communicated through various modes or channels beyond just spoken or written language. So these modes include visual images, sounds, gestures, facial expressions, spatial arrangements, and other semiotic resources. So MDA recognizes that communication is inherently multimodal and that each mode contributes to the overall meaning. So I'll give you an example. For example, a multimodal discourse analysis of a children's picture book might examine how the interplay of text, illustrations, and layout is used to convey a particular story or moral lesson. So the analysis might consider how the visual imagery and textual elements work together to create a coherent narrative and evoke specific emotions or associations, and how these elements are used to engage or educate the young reader. Additionally, multimodal discourse analysis may involve a range of methodological approaches such as visual analysis, sound analysis, and spatial analysis. So the analysis may focus on how different modes of communication work together to create meaning, as well as how these modes are shaped by social and cultural context.
The key concepts of multimodal discourse analysis are the following: multimodality, social semiotics, discourse practices, and visual grammar. The multimodality. Multimodal discourse analysis recognizes that communication involves various moods or semiotic resources beyond just language. These moods include visual images, gestures, sounds, spatial arrangements, and other nonverbal elements that contribute to meaning making. It examines how different moods interact and shape the overall discourse. The social semiotics. Multimodal discourse analysis draws on social semiotics, which explores the social and cultural dimensions of communication. It examines how meaning is created, negotiated, and interpreted within a specific socio-cultural contexts. This approach considers how power, ideology, and social structures influence the production and reception of multimodal texts. The discourse practices. Multimodal discourse analysis focuses on practices and processes involved in producing, consuming, and interpreting multimodal texts. It examines the choices made by communicators in terms of selection, combination, and sequencing of different moods to convey specific meanings and achieve particular communicative goals. Lastly, the visual grammar. Visual grammar refers to systematic patterns and structures used in visual communication. It involves analyzing visual elements such as composition, framing, color, perspective, and visual metaphors to understand how they contribute to the overall meaning of a multimodal text. Now let's move forward to the importance of multimodal discourse analysis. Multimodal discourse analysis is a valuable and dynamic approach that enhances our understanding of communication in today's complex world. Here are some reasons why this approach holds significance. The holistic understanding. By considering multiple moods, multimodal discourse analysis provides a more comprehensive understanding of communication. It acknowledges that Meaning is not solely derived from language but also from visual, auditory, and other nonverbal elements. This approach enables researchers to explore the richness and complexity of multimodal texts, capturing the intricacies of communication beyond linguistic analysis alone. The cultural and social context. Multimodal discourse analysis recognizes the significance of culture, social norms, and power dynamics in shaping communication. It allows researchers to examine how multimodal texts reflect and reproduce societal ideologies, values, and inequalities. By analyzing the interplay between moods and sociocultural contexts, this approach unveils hidden meanings and underlying power relations, providing insights into the social and cultural implications of multimodal communication. The interdisciplinary perspective. Multimodal discourse analysis draws upon various disciplines, including linguistics, semiotics, visual studies, sociology, and anthropology. It encourages interdisciplinary collaboration and insights, allowing researchers to explore the interconnections between language, visuals, and other modes of communication. This interdisciplinary approach enables a deeper understanding of how different moods contribute to the construction of meaning. Lastly, the practical applications. Multimodal discourse analysis has practical applications in fields such as media studies, advertising, education, and design. By understanding how multimodal texts are constructed and interpreted, practitioners can create more effective and persuasive communication strategies. It also helps in critically assessing the multimodal aspects of media, advertisements, and other forms of public discourse, contributing to media literacy and facilitating informed analysis and engagement.
So for the key questions for multimodal discourse analysis, we have four. So the first key question, how is meaning constructed and conveyed through the interplay of different modes of communication? So in multimodal discourse analysis, meaning is conveyed and constructed through interaction with various communication methods such as words, pictures, sounds, and gestures. So let me give you some examples. So for language, language can be used to express, to narrate, to explain, or to represent things. It uses word, phrases, and sentence choices arranged according to genre, register, and linguistic grammar rules, which is to give information. So for the second question, how do different modes of these modes of communication work together to create meaning, and how are they shaped by social and cultural context? So these modes of communication has specific combinations and significance that are socially and culturally different. Due to customs, norms, and traditions, certain societies and circumstances may favor some styles over others. So to illustrate, we have written text and visual aids such as slides or diagrams, and this can be used or these are the most common formats that we are using in our academics or in professional settings. So for the third question, what emotions, associations, or ideologies are evoked through the use of particular visual, auditory, or spatial elements? So images and symbols, which are form visual representation, have the power to evoke associations and ideas about culture, identity, and societal values. For example, using religious symbols or national flags could create feelings of patriotism or religiosity. So for the last question, how do multimodal texts reflect, challenge, or reshape dominant discourses and power structures? So multimodal text can reflect, challenge, and modify dominant discourses and power structures in several ways. So, for example, multiple voices and perspectives can be included in multimodal text, and this challenge dominant discourses because multimodal text, which incorporate several communications like visuals or videos, can give represented or marginalized groups a forum to discuss their experiences as well as their opinions. So let's talk about now some examples of how the multimodal approach can be applied in discourse analysis. So number one, in news headlines. Discourse analysis allows researchers to look at how headlines use text, pictures, and videos to tell stories about readers' perceptions. So, number two, in social media platforms. Social media is an excellent choice for multimodal discourse analysis as they allow users to communicate using modes of communication such as text, pictures, emoticons, and videos. And the last one is in the classroom interactions, in which teachers and students communicate using written text, gestures, spoken language, and visual aids that may be examined through multimodal discourse analysis. And uh, to sum up, these illustrations show how the multimodal approach to discourse analysis enables researchers to look at how multiple communication modalities or methods interact and contribute to the process of meaning making in a variety of contexts.
Conclusion, multimodal discourse analysis is a valuable methodological approach that expands the scope of traditional discourse analysis by considering multiple modes of communication. By examining the interplay between different moods, analyzing social semiotics, and understanding discourse practices, researchers gain a deeper understanding of how meaning is created and interpreted in multimodal texts. This approach highlights the importance of context, cultural influences, and the visual grammar of communication. Multimodal discourse analysis has practical applications and contributes to our understanding and contemporary communication practices in various domains, fostering insights and critical engagement in an increasingly multimodal world.